Break family, how's every single one of you today? Welcome to the official review of AEW Dynamite, a show that these last couple of weeks have not been that good. Jean Paul is going to tell you a little more, he's going to expand on this, but it starts really good. We get excited and then it completely flops. The main event scene, especially every time that AEW Dynamite has a main event, is something that should not be in the main event, but we're gonna go talk a little more about that. Paul, Toni Storm debuts on AEW. Are we excited or more of the same?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, all jokes aside, what she does outside of the ring, but I mean, it's cool to see her back, but, is she going to really make an impact? Or is it going to be like everybody else he signs? We're going to talk about it a little bit, Jay Lethal. I mean, hell, even Adam Cole. Yeah, these guys are there, but do they really feel as special as they could? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. So family, thank you so very much for being with us. We really appreciate you. This week is going to be huge for the channel. We're going to have WrestleMania 2 night events. We're going to have Ring of Honor, the Super Card. We're going to have Raw, also what happened in Raw, SmackDown, Rampage, and also NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver. So welcome for this ride. Be along with us because we have a lot to talk about. Professional wrestling biggest week starts right here, right now. And Paul, let's start with what happened at the beginning of this show. And that's, CM Punk against Max Caster. And, a pretty good match. But again, CM Punk is fighting guys from tag teams. I don't know what the sense of, what is the idea behind this. But, I mean, despite that, I guess he's trying to put guys over. I mean, it's a good idea. But in the same way, it's is he going to challenge for a championship? I don't know. But despite that good match, but in the end, Punk gets the win.
Yeah, and, Max Caster, he's another one of those. I mean, Dax last week was just a great match. But clearly that tag team is a tag team. FTR, we're going to talk about them a lot throughout this show here. But Max Caster, they even said, hey, maybe he's going to go on a singles run. So they kind of hinted that. So, okay, maybe they see him as the big star here. But this was definitely his best match. I think because we've seen him wrestle a couple singles matches. This is his best one. Obviously, he's in there with the great CM Punk. They put on a good match and... he went for the pile driver, couldn't get it. I thought, oh, maybe he's going to counter, do something else. Nope, picks him up, gets him there. Then he gets the Anaconda Vice, gets it locked in, and Max Caster taps out. And what we saw last week, same thing. He signaled for the belt. Shivani comes in. He's like, hey, what does that mean? And he's like,
best friends, right?
Yeah, he's like, Shivani, you're not that stupid. You know what I mean by that. And he's like, hey, listen, there's a lot of gray hair in my beard. There's going to be a lot more before I'm done here in AEW. Lots of scars on my head. There's going to be a lot more before I'm done in AEW. Know what else is going to be before I'm done in AEW? Me as the world champion. So he pretty much said he wants the belt. And he said, I don't care if I'm going against Adam Cole, baby, or if I'm staring down the barrel of some cowboy shit. And I'm like, what is he at a septic tank and it's cowboy shit coming at him down a barrel? I'm like, but hey, whatever. But no, this was a great promo by CM Punk. Great match. And like we said, he needs to be world champ because Hangman Page, he feels like a mid-card champ. We've been saying it. Everybody's been saying it. He doesn't feel, not saying talent-wise, yeah. But it's just something about him, whether it's booking or the way he does it himself. I don't know. But put the belt on CM Punk. I think that will be a way to really legitimize this company even more.
It will be good, and like you said, especially it's gonna help out because it's they need bigger names to have that to hold that championship. The name power or name value of this guy is gonna be
and
greater.
The one thing to quick mention, we can move on now with Tony Khan owning Ring of Honor. You want to say, oh, CM Punk, why is he the best in the world? You can't show any of his WWE footage, yeah. But now you can show all of his Ring of Honor shit. You can throw all that up, highlights, everything on TV to really say, hey, this is why he's the best in the world. This is why this guy's our world champ.
Exactly. So it's a good idea. So we'll see what they do with that. So now let's go now with FTR because can you see, Paul, how they try to honor or tribute NWO? They have the FTR with the same
I would say that's definitely maybe a Scott Hall tribute, something for him or whatever. But yeah, no, the gear was cool. I liked it.
I like really cool stuff. And then they said, hey, we want to have this match with the Ass Club. I'm like, okay, this is just absolutely terrible because these guys deserve the world just because of the quality of wrestlers they are, the technique, and because they try to represent what old school professional wrestling was back in the day. MJF comes up, is like, hey, you know, in the Pinnacle, we're legit, we're friends, we're even more than friends, we're family, and you guys are my family, so forget about Wardlow. And he goes, well, Wardlow is our friend too, so like, don't be bullshit here. So you see a little bit of tension in between the Pinnacle,
Yeah,
and a lot of reports, Paul, about MJF being frustrated with AEW because he wants more money. So maybe he might be another one that goes to WWE, but not just now, but maybe next year.
Yeah, I think his contract is actually up. It's either the end of 2023 or early 2024, because they said that 2024 is supposed to be a big contract year for a lot of major players. But this was good because, again, we're planting the seeds here of FTR turning babyface, and I think they really do by the end of this episode. You know, maybe not officially, but, you know, they are, at least in my eyes. And he's like, hey, Wardlow talks shit on you guys, so if you still want to be his friend, whatever, but, you know, I heard him talking shit, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then they kind of see, you know, they put their hands in with MJF at the end, but you know that this isn't going to last.
Exactly. So, Paul, you know, John Moxley going against Jay Lethal one more time. This is one that, like, this is worth this. You know, why? Because, you know, Jay Lethal is, like, such a good wrestler, and he did the same thing he did with, like, Adam Cole. Good match, but in the end, you know, the more guy that has name value, or like he's more popular, gets the win with John Moxley. I don't know. I don't really like that.
Yeah, and Jay Lethal is such a right again. They said he was the Ring of Honor champ for 700 some days. You're telling me you can't put this guy out here with anybody else to just get a win, especially with we saw Bryan Danielson a little later on. So
yes,
they are a tag team. Either if they're both going to be on the show, have him in a tag match, or just give me Danielson, because he was great before the tag team. Now he doesn't. Now I don't know. He don't feel special anymore.
Done. You know.
I don't know. They completely ruined that because he's not even cutting his own promos or anything. But yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that match later. This was good, but you know, of course, he wasn't going to win. Moxley then hit the paradigm shift. You know, it's all over, and you know, Jay Lethal. I wish if they would just do something with him, or maybe if they do Ring of Honor shows, maybe he'll just go back over there and be legit.
Exactly, and you know what we saw, like the usual, you know, like paradigm shift, and in the end we get like 1, 2, 3. Jay Lethal, like you said, is not really like a good thing for him. I don't really appreciate that. I don't think it's a good way to like be on TV. I mean, finally he has national exposure, but you know, just losing. So in the end, we got to see like he's standing, you know, he tried to shake the hand with John Moxley. Yeah, legit, but in the end, he needs to be at least in that mid card. You know, to me is like kind of like a older version of what Ricochet, you know, is right now. But like, yeah, you see how they treated Ricochet in WWE. Here, we get to see the same thing. The guy that has more popularity, oh, you know, I don't care how good I am, I'm gonna lose to the guy. So I don't really like that. It bothers me a lot. You know, they need to do something else with Jay Lethal, because what's the point of me coming there if you're never gonna get me a win? You know, I don't like that, because even when he debuted, he didn't get the win. I think he lost to Sammy Guevara. So has he ever won? No, Dark, Elevation, those stuff. We don't really care for that. So move on, Paul. FTR against the S Club. This was not good either. This was not a good match. Actually, it bothered me that like FTR had to struggle that much just to get a win against the S Club, and you know that is not. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why they need to like do that.
I mean, and then you saw it break down.
Yeah,
but it took so long to get to that point when. I think it was Cash was on the outside, and you know Billy Gunn just fucking socked him, boom, took him out. So you thought maybe the Gun Club was going to get the win, but then you have MJF and Wardlow, and I mean all this distraction.
Wardlow came out, yep.
And I mean now they did it good. Last week when the security guards held Wardlow back, he looked like a wimp. He should have been like Lesnar and beaten him up, or any babyface that they just beat up Stone Cold. They beat up security. This week he got it right, was beating up security. But yeah, FTR gets a win in a match where there's struggle and there has to be cheating and distraction and everything else. And FTR didn't cheat, but the Gun Club didn't. No, this should have been a match. 10 minutes, the Gun Club kind of gets a comeback, but see, the reason I think they had them get a win like this is because they're turning a babyface. So, they overcame the odds because the heels were cheating, the Gun Club being the heels, and MJF and everything, and, so...
We got to see, the Shattered Dreams. What do they call it over here? Like, I don't remember.
Big rig. I think after Brody Lee.
The Shattered Machine, I'm sorry. Shattered Dreams is actually Goldust, but we got to see that you get the win. Like you said, MJF was part of a little bit of the distraction. Wardlow was also there, but like you see, they were really hesitant of really align themselves with like MJF. So you see a little bit of like cracks in between this relationship too. And later on, let's skip ahead a little bit, Paul.
Yes.
They got a really good promo because they're like AAA like tag team champions, and they said that like they are here to AEW to like be foundations, or like kind of like what Thunder Rosa will say a little later on, but like they actually challenged the Young Bucks to another match again to determine who the best tag team is. So this is cool. This is really good.
And they said Friday, they're going to be the Ring of Honor champions, and then they're going to become the AEW, the two-time AEW tag team champions. And they said, listen, Young Bucks, we never got a rematch. You never gave it to us, so we're going to issue the challenge now. Let's see who the best tag team here in AEW is. Do you accept? No belts on the line. This is great. What do we say? You can do a feud and you can do stuff when there's no... Exactly. You're not saying the Young Bucks are good, but if anybody's going to bring them to a good actual wrestling match, it's going to be FTR. And I don't want to be crazy here, but, maybe FTR will actually get the win.
Yeah, and that's good, and that's what they deserve to do. Like they're really good, wrestlers, and especially they try to just have like that aura of being professional wrestlers, and then they've been treated bad in every single place that they've been. Maybe NXT will be like the best one.
And
we can say that.
Give me a quick prediction on Friday. Who do you think is actually going to win that match?
Probably if they do it right, FTR. If they do it right, why? Because the Briscoes, there's those homophobic like comments that one of them did. So like, there's a lot of they're hesitant about being,
Well, I know that's why he won't get signed, and I believe it was Jade, or I don't know if it's Jay or Briscoe or who it was, but he did apologize back then. He apologized again now. So I'm not, whatever. Well, what else can he do? All you can do is apologize and
exactly. What else can you do?
He donated to a lot of organizations too and stuff, but I almost think that they should just do some kind of draw, do some kind of where it's like, because then you'll want to see it again. But if nobody wins the first match, it teases you. It's like, oh man, like come on,
and especially because the quality is going to be good. So you want to do that. So I'm excited. We'll see what happens. We'll be covering that.
Yes, but if somebody does have to win, no tie, I'm going to go with you. I think FTR should get the win.
Yeah, FTR, but especially because like they can bring the titles to AEW and they're going to be so we're double champions. Okay, Young Bucks, where are you? All of that stuff. So like, let's go with this. This part of the show is like really lame. Like the Appreciation Society from Jericho. They were cutting the promo and they're like, oh, Santana and Ortiz are not there. Get to see Jake Hager saying the same thing, and they're like, oh no, they're not here. They're not here. They're open all the curtains. They're there. So they go at each other, They drag it all the way to ringside, and I mean Jericho, all the guys like overpower Santana and Ortiz. They beat him up. Judas Effect, all of that. Do we really care about this? No.
This is the part of the show that definitely feels WWE, which that's what Jericho's going for. But it's not even like a tongue-in-cheek, sarcastic, like a satire. Like we're poking fun at it to prove a point. No, he's just straight up copying them. And it's not good. And this is the part of the show where I just zone out. You know what I mean? Like we said, it started off so hot. Okay, you do this great thing with CM Punk. He said he's coming for the belt. Hell yeah, that's going to be good. He's going to put on a good match with whoever's champ. And then, FTR, all right, that's pretty good. And you're just slowly going downhill, and it's just not.
Yes. No, it's not good. So, Paul, we give you, like, at least, for you, we give you this. Yeah, we give you some clapping because, like, you deserve it. Really good analysis. That is the part of the show. Like, again, we've been saying this from ever since it started, that this group with Chris Jericho is the worst thing he's ever done in pro wrestling as of now. The Inner Circle was really fun, was entertaining.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, the first week it was, I thought, okay, let's see where this goes. I don't hate it yet. And then week 2, nope.
Thank you. No, I'm done. I'm done. This at least is going to be interesting. We're going to see Jade Cargill. She's asking Matt Skerlin. Like, he's like, well, what's my next opponent? Who's going to be the next woman I'm going to face? And she's like, oh, the librarian. It's like, so. And he's like, oh, I'm not fighting that for my 30th win. Who is it? So, Paul, remember Marina Shafir, Roderick Strong's wife? Remember, like, she was actually learning a little bit of the ropes. She's like a kung fu fighter, jiu-jitsu, black belt, all of that, MMA fighter, but she didn't have the experience wrestling, and now she was released from WWE, but now she's on AEW. She's been fighting on Dark, on Elevation. Why don't we know about this? Because we didn't watch that. Nobody ever watches that. But like, she's going to be the next opponent, and this is good. They had a really quick video package of her, so at least it's interesting. We'll see what they do with her.
Yeah, and I think, Jade, hopefully she retains on her 30th, title defense, or 30th. What is it, title defense or just match?
Not 30th. 30th, the title defense, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's the one thing that she should win that. and keep looking strong and dominant. Because she even said like, "Oh, Mark Sterling, you don't seem confident."
You don't seem so confident about it.
And he's like, "Oh, so so I don't. I mean, hopefully they don't blow. I mean, it really got to be a baby face that's like the people are really behind, and they don't have that right now."
Yes, exactly. So we'll see what they do, but I mean, it's going to be a good match regardless. So that's pretty interesting to see. You mentioned this, Wheeler Yuta from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we're going to give it at least a little bit of a reaction here. We're going to give it like a little bit of clapping. Yeah, he's one of our guys against Danielson. Good match. Actually, Danielson sold for him. I like this, is like especially this picture because he was doing those elbows really, really good. So he got a lot of comeback. William Regal was also on commentary, and I mean, but in the end, the same thing. It's kind of like Jay Lethal against John Moxley. He's like, these guys are like good as singles guys. Why you put him on a tag match? You want to make him a tag team when you have so many tag teams? I don't understand this. And in the end, Bryan Danielson got the win.
Yeah, and again, it was a match. Same thing with Moxley and Jay Lethal. It's okay. They're gonna put on a good match. You know that. It'll be enjoyable, but there's really no doubt in your mind who's going to win it. Bryan Danielson,
and what is also going to do for the story.
And it's not going to do it. They're a tag team. If anything, they should just be out there stretching tag teams. And then, hey, maybe them versus FTR for the, number one contender down the line. Something like that. You build it up. Or maybe they're the ones who, if FTR's babyface, maybe, these guys are the ones who beat Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus because that's a heel team. They hold the belts for a while, and FTR beats them. That FTR beating these two top, stars, that really gets them over. So, especially when they have William Regal in their corner. So, I mean, that's one thing. I don't know what they're doing, what the plan is, but these guys, are they a tag team? Are they singles? Make up your mind. Because Bryan Danielson was on a roll. They completely stopped it by putting him in this group. And then, now you put him back in the singles division? I don't get it.
It sucks because, like, again, these guys that you said, they just follow that plan. Go against tag teams. You have the Red Dragon, you have the Young Bucks, you have FTR, so you have like strong tag teams. They can build feuds right there in between them, and then one of them comes out as number one contender for Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. They didn't do that. I mean, Wheeler Yuta always tries the best, but like in the end, he always loses. Same thing. I don't call the poll because we're gonna talk about this before we go to that picture. Undisputed Elite. They're already undisputed. Can they walk away from that name? I don't know if they can, but like a lot of people are just laughing about it just because, it's like a go right away to that name. They stole those titles, so they're having a celebration about it. I don't know. You tell me. Good promo by them, but in the end, this feud is like really lackluster. It's like Adam Cole, like you said, he has not been able to channel the same version that he was in NXT. So I don't know. He's trying, but I don't know if it's Hangman Page. He came out. I thought it was JBL, Paul. For a second, I thought it was JBL. I thought it was JBL. I thought it was JBL. And then there was a lot of action here. Luchasaurus, Jungle Boy, Christian. I still don't know why he is involved in this. So we're gonna give it the horn for that because I still don't know why is he actually be part of that. But in the end, they took care of like the heels, baby faces, like they got their titles back. This is just a really, really lackluster feud. Anna Hangman Page, as much as they tried, he does not feel like the AEW champ.
And the reason why he doesn't feel like the champ is, again, with that garbage shit match we saw at the end of this show. Why was this not the main event? He's your world champ. I don't care if it's just a segment. Just put it on at the end so he feels that's the last thing we see is the world champ and the tag team champions. They have their titles back. They stand tall. You show AEW the little watermark in the logo, you go to the next show. I don't understand why that's so hard. 9 o'clock, I don't care. Or whenever this was, 8:30, 8:45, 9:15, it don't matter. It should be the end of the show. It's so dumb. And I mean the promo, he cuts that exact same promo in NXT and the crowd's eating it up and it feels legit and you can buy it. He cuts his promo here in AEW and they're cheering because they cheer anything. They would
Exactly, that's the thing. These fans cheer for anything.
They would cheer Tony Khan taking a shit in the middle of the ring. You know what I mean? It don't matter. They would cheer anything. So
I agree with you.
So it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel special. And I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I said I don't know if he should have dropped the title to Danielson, but looking back on it, maybe he should have. I don't know.
Yeah, like you said, I don't like this at all. So like we're gonna give it gonna give it that. Paul, let's talk about the AEW Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. She got a good promo, though. Really, and I feel she was able to talk this time. That's good. They did it in a good way.
Oh yeah, tons of people gave backlash exactly like we did. How do you have it after that grueling match she went through? Her first promo, she gets 2 words in and gets beat up, gets insulted. You know, a bunch of people were like, oh, it was racially insensitive, what Vicky Guerrero was saying as well, all this stuff. So this time I think, yeah, they let her speak, and she was good. And I like, you know, everything she said. Like, I had to go through hell. So you think I'm going to lose this title right away? No, bring it on. If you want to fight, I don't care where it is. You know, you call yourself a pillar, you know, or Britt called herself a pillar, all this stuff. No, I'm the foundation. I'm going to be here a while. Everyone's going to build, you know, I'm going to be the one that supports everything.
Exactly.
And she is. Because she, besides Serena Deeb, she's the next best worker that they have here in the women's division.
Yes. And like you said, Thunder Rosa has like the stuff there. Yeah. She's the girl. And I like what you said. The foundation and everything. Let's go with like Nyla Rose said. It's the foundation. Yeah, bitch. Like she said, like, oh, I'm gonna just crush you. Seems like you have an addiction for blood, so I'm gonna make you bleed. So we're gonna see this feud. I mean, nothing bad to say about Nyla Rose. She was AEW champion and also, but every time that she's been like booked as a machine and everything, then just 2 weeks after that, then she loses to whoever, and that's it.
Vicky doesn't have that nostalgia factor. Like, I mean, she to me is on the same level as Chavo. Because when I think of Vicky, I just think of like Edge. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, Edge is on Raw, so what? I'll just go watch Raw. You know,
yes.
I mean, Vicky doesn't. I don't pop for Vicky. Nobody does.
Yes.
And Nyla Rose can cut a decent promo
on her own.
Vicky just brings her down. It doesn't make any sense.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't like that, but at least we got to see, you know, the good promo by Thunder Rosa. She's going to be a good champion, hopefully, if they give her the opportunity. You know, hopefully also like a good reign for her. Let's see, I think maybe Britt Baker's taking a break. You know, she deserves that. Like, she was like the champion for a long time, so that's fine. Hikaru Shida also will come back. And now your thoughts about this girl, because the Owen card tournament started and there was a lot of buzzing about Toni Storm joining AEW. There was also like a thing that she was already backstage a few shows ago. She got one of the employees right there in the building fired because I guess the girl, and we all know she's pretty, we all know she's like beautiful and all of that, but I guess she's a little also psychotic. And you probably wonder why, because the guy only went up to her to ask where the bathroom was, and she completely flipped out. And then she actually went and talked about to the authorities of AEW, and the poor employee got fired over that. So Toni, not Toni Khan, but Toni Storm, hey, relax a little bit, girl. Not everybody wants you. So, I mean, the match with the Bunny, tell me a little bit about this. Because it was average, and in the end, you know, who's going to get the win? The girl that debuts or the girls that have been there forever?
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, the Bunny is she don't even come out. The Titan, well, not Titantron, you know what I mean. The screen is of Andrade. So that just, what does that tell you? That she's a joke. Obviously, Toni Storm debuting here. But again, this was a match where, you know, we praised Toni in the past, and, you know, she didn't get any worse or anything, so that's all still there. But it was a match where I zone out because you know who's going to win. The Bunny's a joke. It went on way too long. Toni Storm should have came in and beat her up in 5 minutes. It shouldn't have even went to a commercial break. It should have been, you know, beat her up and get it over with so she looks strong and dominant. But I'm going to make a complaint here. Some people are going to probably say I'm wrong. Whatever. I don't care. It's my opinion. In the Owen Hart tournament, when it first comes out, I'm sorry, can it be men?
Yeah.
Can it be men wrestling in the Owen Hart tournament?
Yeah.
That would be like, oh, we're gonna have a Wendy Richter tournament, and Randy Orton is going against Montez Ford in the first round. What? No, it should be women in a women's, you know, tournament after a woman. I know if you're gonna do both, like you do the Dusty Cup, at least have the first match of the first tournament be the men's one. You know,
yes.
Whatever.
No, like you said, it's a little odd, right?
What do any of these two women? Oh yeah, Owen Hart. Yeah, I was still in my dad's nutsack when Owen Hart died. You know what I mean? I'm like, what?
It doesn't make sense, exactly. Yeah. So, like, you know, absolutely, I agree with you. Toni Storm debuted on AEW. She's all elite. Hey, I mean, we wish her the best. We're gonna hopefully she actually reaches the heights that like she deserves. She's a great wrestler, but we know from like examples from Ruby Soho, girls that like have debuted already, nothing really has happened. You know, we haven't seen anything, so we'll see what happened on that. You know, let's go about Paul to talk about what's gonna happen next week. This sucks. You know, the Hardys just again one more time they feel stale. One more time quickly. Butcher and the Blade, they're a good tag team, but have they ever been prominent?
And in a tables match, these guys are old. You know, the Hardys, they're old. They're not young guys anymore. I'm not saying they're going to be the ones going through the tables, because obviously if it's a tape, now see, is it WWE tables match where the first person to go through a table loses? Or is it just a match that you can use tables in, but it still has to be a pinfall or submission?
Exactly.
We don't know, but, you know, and again, this match, to me, the Hardys are wasted. They already feel like an afterthought. Jeff is cool, but they don't feel special. Would you, if you could have got Jeff Hardy, would you have signed him and just said, hey, man, we'll pay you, just chill, whatever, talk to guys in the back, you know, whatever, but we're going to debut you on a pay-per-view?
Yes.
Well, don't you think that would have made more sense? You know, get Matt over, have him leave the group. You know, oh, maybe you hint at Jeff's coming. You know, you hint at it. Matt gets some wins in the singles division. Looks all right. You know, whatever. No, they jumped right into it. They already wrestled, 3 times now on Dynamite? Yeah. I don't feel
and now they're showing up on every single show because they show up on Rampage. They show up also like here in AEW. We're going to talk about them in just a little bit. So there you go. Now, like you said, like the booking. And again, we've said this. The main issue is this. When you have so many guys that had incredible value, because the Hardys, they are as popular as Brandon Danielson, CM Punk, same thing, you know. A lot of people actually love the Hardys from back in the day, the nostalgia, like you said. 2 weeks, done. You know, nobody really cares. And we don't want to see them again, because if they're going to be tag champions, maybe it's going to take months. It's really hard for, you know, to keep booking those many names and do justice to every single one of them. So, you know, the Young Bucks against Tough Light, this is going to be probably a good match. We've seen him, like, already, remember, in for the #1 contenders for the tag titles for Revolution. They had already a good match, or at least they had interactions between all of them. This is going to be okay. I mean, the Young Bucks on Rampage, the only reason for that is, you know, this because they won ratings for the people who love the Young Bucks. There you go, Paul. House of Black, these guys don't even do Dynamite. So they feel, you know, completely still in going against great tag teams, right? Buero del Sol, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward for that, right? I'm looking forward for that.
Wait, did somebody pick that? Yeah, did somebody pick the House of Black and then they went to like the other team, and then they just like, okay, we're gonna take out one of the Dark Order members and we're just gonna hit random, and whoever pops up from the random thing. I mean,
exactly.
This sucks. Rampage sucks.
It's just terrible. I mean, this is going to be okay. You know, we're going to hear from like.
And the one thing, it's like really, and then you're going to have. We saw a promo for it too. Keith Lee and Hobbs on Rampage. Really? Can that not be on? Can you put that on Dynamite?
Yes, right here. Yeah, right here. They're going to have the main event. This should be like a main. This, for example,
and that's another match that means nothing when it should mean something.
A lot, something. It should be a big deal. It should be a whole lot. But this match, you know, you at least put him in the main event of Dynamite. You know, Powerhouse Hobbs, they have the same build. They can have a great match together. Rampage. Okay. You know, are we going to try to see it? Maybe highlights? Because, again, also the show is taped. Nobody cares. We're also going to see Statlander feuding with Layla Hirsch. I mean, actually, I'm rooting for Layla Hirsch right here because she's legit. That's the main reason. And also, like, Statlander, I don't know. Ever since, like, the joining with the best friends and all of that, see, they realized that it's not working and then she's gone, right? Yeah. Finally, she's on her own. Good stuff. At least they understood that. We're going to see another match from, like you said, already Paul gave us, like, why this shouldn't be named the Owen card. Maybe it should be in, like you said, Wendy Richter. Should be, I don't know, you know, whoever girl that you have that is not under WWE. That meant a lot. Medusa. It should be the Medusa Women's Tournament Qualifier. Whatever. And Jamie Hayter against Sky Blue. This is going to be a good match. Hopefully Jamie wins. Nothing against Sky Blue, but Jamie, she never wins anything, and she has all the ability in the world to have that. So there you go, Paul. Tell me a little bit about the main event. Andrade El Idolo going against Darby Allin.
Well,
so this was
all I'm going to tell you. I was just going to say, all I'm going to tell you is a little bit, because this sucked. You know, event. You know, he comes out and the commentary is trying to sell you on this. Oh, this is a grudge match. No, we don't care. We've seen these people feud. None of them are TNT champion. They're feuding over literally nothing, and it's the main event. Nobody cares. People like Darby, yeah, definitely. People like Sting. But nobody gives a shit about Andrade. Charlotte probably, yeah. You know, and
is the only one,
and maybe Rick. You know, Rick's gone crazy. We don't know who he likes and hates anymore. But you know, no, this is just bad. And the jump start and
Butcher and the Blade. Of course, they have to create the distractions. They jump Sting.
I hate how it takes forever for when somebody jump starts. The bell should just ring. But no, they don't. It takes forever. Then the ref, are you okay? Are you okay? Darby's like half dead. Yeah, I can go. They ring the bell and you think, oh, Darby's going to win anyway. But you know what? He actually doesn't. And I thought, okay. And I'm not going to talk about the match because I don't give a shit. And, you know, it's like, okay, wow, Andrade actually won. I'm thinking
that was good, though. At least Hammerlock DDT reminded me of the NXT days, Paul.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, maybe Sting is going to take him out of there. They're going to sneak out. It's going to be fine. The heel's going to stand tall, whatever. Have the show go off the air. At least he gets a win. Maybe they're going to try to push Andrade so people actually will give a shit. Nope, they start beating him up, beating Sting up, beating everybody up. Then Private Party comes out. They start beating them up. And as soon as Private Party came out, I mean, even before they did, you just know that as soon as the beatdown is, the baby faces are going to come out, and then they're going to stand tall. The only heels that do it right is Jericho's group. They're the only heels that beat down the faces and stood tall at the end of their segment and actually got any heat. You know, Andrade's group couldn't get any heat. The Hardys come out, swinging chairs, everything. They clear off the heels. You know, it's pretty much 3-on-1 because you saw Darby was still done and everything, and it's like...
It just sucked. Not good. So, you know, family, that's what Dynamite was. Thank you so very much for being with us. We love you. We appreciate you. And remember, we have this AEW today. Tomorrow is NXT UK. Hey, another great show. We're going to see a Heritage Cup match. We're going to see Noam Dar going against, you know, Joe, not Mark Coffey, not Joe Coffey. So this is going to be interesting. So we give it a chance. Yes, we're gonna be chatting for that. It's gonna be good, and that was gonna kick in that weekend for WrestleMania. Again, remember super card for Ring of Honor, SmackDown, Rampage, all of that on Friday, and also like the multi-universe, what's gonna happen on Impact. A lot of stuff, you know, in Dallas happening. You know, if you love wrestling, let's go to Dallas. We all go. So where else can I find us, Paul?
And guys, so you don't miss any of these updates, because like we said, we're going to be going crazy this weekend, and we love it. Follow us, Rope Break, on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course, right here, folks, you already know the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...